So basically, the heel whip is gonna be a whip trick where you want to whip it around like the opposite of tail whip. So tail whip is like this way, and a heel whip is this way. So it's the opposite way. So tail whip. So basically, tail whip, heel whip, tail whip, heel whip. So that's an opposite tail whip. So it really depends on your stance, of what stance you are. I ride goofy. A lot of people will ride regular. A lot of people ride regular, which means that you ride with your left foot forward. I ride with my right foot forward, making me a goofy rider. Okay, so basically, getting into the heel whip, you definitely want to have your bunny hopped pretty high. So like, pretty much, if you can do the bunny hop, kind of like a BMX rider would. See, so if you can do the bunny hop like this, that, and get it about that high, to where at least you're bending your knees to get it up. Should be good. But like, you want to have them about that high. Alright, so after you get your bunny hops pretty high, so some people do their heel whips with their, they pick up the front wheel first. I am one of those people. I pick up the front wheel first. Just gives me more time to whip it around. A lot of people will just pick it straight up and then kick it around and then land on it. I am not one of those people. So basically, if you've ever been kayaking, you kind of row a boat like that almost. So like, if I'm doing a tail whip, see how my arms are moving like that? I want to be able to do that, but in the opposite way, and get comfortable with just moving your bars like this, and just kind of like, because when you do a heel whip, you're gonna have to pull it back in. Just don't pull it back in too hard, because if you pull it back in too hard, you kind of risk damaging your headset. So you want to whip it in, but not too hard. So like, keep it about right there, and then land on it, and you'll have it fine. So basically, then again, you really want to have that movement down with your arms, like you're rowing a kayak, or really any type of boat for that matter, because you want to have it to where you can actually get it like that, and then just like a tail whip, like you would with a tail whip, you want to start by just kind of kicking it around under you, and then after you learn to kick it around under you, you just start kind of jumping on like that. All right. So basically, once you do that, it's really easy, because then once you get it to where you can do this, kind of like go like this, kick it around, jump on it, and keep it under you the entire time, you'll really just have it to where you'll get to land on the heel whip and like get it under you and can kind of keep it there to where you can just kind of get it under you every time. Because when I do a heel whip, you can see my arms. See how my bars move? That's what you need to do, because you need to kind of whip it around See how my arms move when I do it? It's like a swift motion. So once you do that, you'll pretty much have it every try. So then a lot of people have trouble with this. It's getting back onto it. So unlike a tail whip, where you kind of have to land, I can jump onto it that way. You see when I do a tail whip? I've kind of learned to keep it under me the entire time when I do a tail whip now. So then you just have to learn to kind of keep it under you for the tail whip. And then it's a pretty big readjustment once you learn that tail whip, unless you heel whip naturally. I tail whip naturally, so I naturally whip it in a counterclockwise direction. If you ride regular, then a tail whip is whipping it in the clockwise direction. For me, for the regular tail whip, I whip it in the other direction. For the heel whip, I whip it clockwise. So once you get it like that, you basically have it every try. But then it's a matter of jumping into it that direction. So you like really have to like either keep it under you or like really just like smash it into your legs. So like really pull it into you. Because if you pull it into you, you have it perfect every try. If you don't pull it into you, let's just say you're screwed. Because then you're not going to land it, and it's going to look really trash. So like you really want it to look good, as well as become like a natural motion for you. Because once you learn that heel whip to where like you really have it every try, and like you can jump into it confidently, you'll have it every try. So once you learn to do that, you just want to kind of put them all together, bring it in, jump into it that direction. Because my huge problem was when I was first learning the heel whip is that I was actually I was going like this, so I would land it, and then I would land on it with only one foot, and I would land on it kind of awkwardly. And when I would land on it, it would kind of look like this. Kind of look like that. So that's what you don't want to do, because if you don't take your foot off, if you take your foot off, and like you don't keep your feet together, you need to keep your feet together. You really need to keep your feet together. Like, that's the biggest way you're gonna land it. Keep your feet together, and you jump into it that way, or that way if you're regular. So basically, here is just me doing a heel whip, and I'll show you a tail whip, and just show you the kind of comparison. Here it is for the heel whip. See, so I landed every try perfect, only because one night I was just out here and I was just really chugging them, and then I finally jumped into it. I kept falling back because I was leaning backwards. Don't want to lean backwards. Now you don't want to lean too much forward either, because you'll end up, instead of doing a regular manual and flipping back like that, then you'll do a nose manual and flip forward. And I'm not too confident with showing you me flipping forward on a nose manual yet, because I don't really know how to nose manual yet. So basically, here it is for the full heel whip again, and I'll just show you how it looks. Alright, so that was for the heel whip, and there we go. So now here's just the movement of a tail whip real quick, just so you can see the difference. See, so for the tail whip, it's a lot easier to keep it under you. For the heel whip, you really want to keep it out until you pull it back into you. Because once you pull it back in, you're good. Because it's like a double tail whip and a heel whip are very similar. Because you're using a lot of motion with your hands more than your feet. So with a tail whip, it's mostly that kicking motion that you learn. You know, it's just that flick that really counts. For the heel whip, pretty much the exact opposite. It's the hand motion that really counts. And if you don't do that right, then you know, you're not gonna get it. So it's more like, so in a double tail whip, you kind of have to like really use your arms. Especially with the triple tail whip. If you ever get that good, the triple tail whip, really use your arms. So once you learn the heel whip, it's probably going to be a little bit easier for you to learn the double whip, because you just get that feeling of using your arms and like hopping a lot higher in the air at first. Because when you learn the heel whip at first, you really learn to keep it really high and like get it really consistent when you get it up high and you jump high. You really have to jump high when you do the heel whip. You have to jump high and jump into it, or else you're not gonna get it. So here's me doing the heel whip again. And alright, so I'll just show you how I use the arm motion a lot more in the heel whip than I do in the tail whip. So here's just me doing the motion of the heel whip for you. See how I really use my arms to get it? That's why I jumped high and I just landed on it first try, just to get it really like implanted in your head. For the motion. Alright, so that's the heel whip. Now it's the heel whip.